TOA Fit Body Bootcamp and Fit Body Forever communities. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Robert Linkul. Good to see you. I've been under the weather a little bit the last couple of days. You can probably hear it in my voice, so haven't recorded a lot of content this week. But here this morning, 3 a.m., voice is feeling somewhat okay, so I am going to attempt to get us through this new Silver Sneakers article that just came out. I'm actually going to steal one. There were two articles. I'm going to show you them here in just a second. There were two articles, and one is 9 reasons to do your first Silver Sneakers workout. And it had, accountability, good instructors. You don't have to leave your house. You train from the comfort of your home. You stop when you need to. Like, it was all this good stuff. And then we got right to the very end, and then this came up. And there's one individual that comments a lot on our videos about how Silver Sneakers will never change. They'll never suggest that you should lift weights because it's a risk, that they're instructing people to lift heavier load. They would then have greater potential to hurt themselves, and they would open themselves up to lawsuits, etc. I don't believe that to be accurate. There is no statistical research anywhere to suggest that lighter loads for more reps versus heavier loads for less reps either one has more injury risk to them. I haven't seen that, and if that's an actual stat somewhere, I'd love to see it. All I see is continued research, from the Lift More studies to the Brad Schoenfeld studies to every other research study coming out of Cal Fullerton and Lehman College and et cetera across the country, Stanford and Harvard and everywhere else they're doing this, that suggests any able body from post-puberty on that wants to increase bone mass, increase muscle mass, must lift heavier loads to produce stimulus. It's simple. It's so simple. What we're battling right now is common misconception. The misconceptions that lifting heavy loads are scary and it's going to hurt people. And if you progressively overload people, 2.5s and then 5s and then 7.5s and then 10s, if you progressively overload people, they will be perfectly fine. But if I just say, go grab that 100-pound kettlebell and pick it up, they'll blow their back apart. Yes, right? Or put themselves at higher risk, I should say. So if you're a huge company and you're like, hey, we want to deliver the best service to our people, here's what we're going to tell you about our workouts. They're going to get you strong, and they're going to change your life, and they're going to be the best things you've ever done. But you don't need any weights. No equipment necessary. You don't need any weights. Some classes may use basic equipment like light dumbbells or resistance tubing, but it's not required. Instructors will always give you the option to select equipment. I have not seen a single piece of research that suggests that I can increase bone density and I can increase muscle mass, the two things we need as an aging body, by simply moving my arms back and forth, by just moving my body weight up and down. I'm not suggesting that you can't get strong using body weight, but have you done these workouts? They are not doing 100 rep max push-ups. They are not doing squats to failure. They're not doing inverted rows. They're not doing negative chin-ups. They're not doing stuff that would actually tear fiber and make you sore the next day and grow muscle mass. They're not doing that. Okay? So I'm not here to poo-poo on Silver Sneakers. I am here to share knowledge and to share the science that suggests, hey, maybe if you really want to address a way for people to get stronger and to really change their body composition, that you might want to suggest some different strategies and encourage them to lift load. There is no higher risk of injury with lifting heavier load than using lighter weight for more reps. There are just as many, if not more, overuse injuries than there are with overload injuries. And that is statistically proven. Okay? All right, here we go. The 9 best exercises for seniors. Now, technically, these are formats of exercise. Exercises would be a squat or a push-up or a row, right? So these are types of exercises, not exercises. This is your workout guide, all right? And this is Miss Fetters. We'll go with that. Okay, this was in March, earlier this year. All right, introduction, et cetera, et cetera. Talks about her background, who she's interviewing. And here we go. Exercise helps you lower your blood pressure, et cetera. Maintaining healthy weight, strengthening bones and muscles, not without load. You've got to have load. All the other stuff, accurate. 30 minutes of exercise a day can boost your mental health, absolutely, and reduce your risk of depression. Our older populations are leading our population in depression. So, yes, that is activity daily would be very good. The 9 best exercises for seniors, here we go. Swimming. Okay, let me start by saying that any form of exercise, if you don't exercise, is awesome. Where I'll give this article a lot of credit is if you were going to gradually roll somebody into exercise, let's say they're 70, they've never worked out a day in their life. This is a very good model of progressive exercise to get somebody really good at exercising to then eventually do really hard stuff. And I'm not saying that each one of these things can't be hard. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you want the best results for the goals you just gave me, okay? The goals you just gave me up here, lowering blood pressure, increasing yada, 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 right? All these guys. If this is what you want to improve, resistance training is going to be the number one protocol to assist you in doing that. If you resistance train and do any of this other stuff, you're going to be so much more likely, I can't put a number on it, but much more likely to achieve all these training outcomes and feel better about it and reap all the benefits, okay? Sleeping better, feeling better, performing better, etc., all the way across the board. Whereas if I just swim, you'll have great cardiovascular health. You'll probably learn not to drown. That's cool. It's a good thing. And it's a cool way to train, meaning you're in water. So if you're a very warm, hot-blooded individual, like myself, fiery, being in the water is really nice, okay? Love being in the water. Helps cool you down. So water is great. Swimming is great, but you are about 1/8 of your body weight in water, which means we're not getting anything great for our bones. We're definitely not building any muscles. And I hear people go, look at those swimmers and all their muscles. They build those muscles in the weight room. I watch those people. I watch Phelps in the weight room. I watch those guys in the weight room. Those MFers, they lift, and they lift hard. They do not dick around. They understand they've got to build muscle to propel them through the water. You don't get lats like that just by swimming all the time, okay? By moving 1/8 of your body weight through the water. You lift weights. That's how you get those muscles. So swimming, great activity, great cardiovascular health, not the best for building bone density, muscle mass. Yoga, all right, at least now we're on Earth's surface, not in water. So we're 100% of our body weight against gravity. Great. Awesome for mobility. Awesome for range of motion. Great for increasing blood flow, building core strength, etc. Total body mobility, all that, great. No load is included here. So bone density, nothing other than you're standing, okay? Gravity, granted. If we're standing with great posture, even better, okay? If you're doing Tai Chi, meditation, etc., all great for your mind, your brain, all that, love it, okay? Very, very good. It's vital to strengthen not just your muscles, but also your bones. Explain to me how you're going to do that by moving your body through ranges of motion on the ground. Okay? Hear what I'm saying. I am not, this is where everybody, you when you hear me talk, they go, oh, you're shitting on yoga. I'm not shitting on yoga. I like yoga. I think yoga has a great value there. But is it optimal for building bone density and muscle mass? No. You're not moving any load. Is it hard? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying it's easy. What I'm saying is do all the yoga you want. Fucking yoga 8 hours a day. Your bone density won't increase. Your muscle mass will not increase. There's no load. You are not enough load to just move your body through air. You would have to lift and do hundreds of push-ups and hundreds of squats and just burn your body into exhaustion to tear enough muscle fiber to actually grow with body weight. It's extremely difficult, okay? Doing a 7-minute yoga class, you'll feel good afterwards. Increase blood flow to your brain, etc. All that, you'll feel great. It's not going to do anything for your bones or muscle mass. Simply isn't going to do it. Pilates, same thing, okay? Yes, it's hard. All kinds of great stuff you can do in there. There's no weight, right? There's no weight. It increases mobility, range of motion, especially if you're on a reformer, all that good stuff. Yeah, great for your joints and tendons, and you'll get stronger, right? You're moving and holding your body in all kinds of awkward and hard positions. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not going to build muscle mass and bone density. Remember, there's differences between getting stronger binding sites of your muscles and more binding sites of muscle, which is what we need. We need more binding sites, okay? We're not talking Arnold binding sites where you're like, I cannot move, I have so many muscles. We're not talking that. We're just talking more than what you have. Because as you age, they are going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. Because you're not training them proper. All right, here we go. Best suggestion I've seen so far. Body weight training. But this is step 4. 1 out of every 3 older adults experience severe muscle loss, sarcopenia, okay? And that number, 1 out of 3, is a little bit outdated. It's almost like 2 out of 3 now. According to an analysis of age and aging. Now, they kind of go through this with the research from Harvard, et cetera, all the way down here, and discussing, basic body weight movements of being able to chair squat and do wall push-ups and stair climb. All this is great functional movement. This is great very good for warm-ups, very good for practical application of movement patterns. I'm going to learn to get up and down off the floor. I'm going to learn to ascend and descend my stairs. I'm going to learn to do these things. Body weight training can be very effective for building strength, coordination, mobility, etc. But what is the big problem? There is no external load. So for your body to for your body weight to become enough of an overload to stress your muscle into change, to stress your bones into change, you have to do so many reps. You have to go to failure often in every workout. And most people, number one, are not going to push that hard. And in these workouts that Silver Sneakers does, they never get to that point. They don't even get anywhere near 50% max effort, let alone 100%. Meaning, I cannot do another push-up. You're on the ground, and you fall on your face. That is a maximal effort. I can't do another rep. They're nowhere near that. And you're like, well, what about entry-level, beginning individual? They can only do like 2 push-ups. This is a great way to train then. This is a great entry-level way to train. I think it's good. I think you build up. And then, just like anything else, if you get better at it, there's going to be another level for you to achieve to graduate to, okay? You're going to get to the point where you're like, all right, now I can do 20 push-ups. I can do 30 squats. I can get up and down off the floor. What's next? Well, we have to start to create a greater stimulus. So what is that next stimulus? Well, I'm going to do 100 push-ups now. You could do that, or we could start to do some bench press with some dumbbells, okay? All right, next progressive step, resistant bands. All right, really good research. I'm doing a presentation for FitBody here in a little bit with utilizing bands. I've got 60 different exercises I'm going to teach using bands. Bands are awesome, what we call tweener lifts, meaning it's between body weight and full resistance. And bands, there's plenty of research to suggest, especially for good introductions to resistance training, that bands do a great job of that. But what you want to remember is the load changes, meaning as I row a band, it gets tighter. As I let it out, it gets lighter, which is a great accommodating component to working through ranges of motion that your body's not used to. When you're in deepest points of flexion, you're typically your strongest, you're typically at your weakest. And then when you fully extend and have lockouts, you're typically at your strongest. Well, it's kind of opposite with the band. As you're rowing it, it's really, really tight. And as you extend it, okay, you're at your weakest. The band goes to its weakest. So it does accommodate and work well in the beginning to assist people in getting stronger as the load undulates. But you can't really measure it. Well, I'm using a green band. Okay, the green band, if it's doubled, can be 50 pounds. Cool. Well, I'm standing 3 feet away from the anchor. Now I'm 3.5 feet. Now I'm 4 feet. How much weight did I lift now? I don't know. The green band at 3.5 feet. I mean, that's the best we can do with bands, where the cable pulley is on 30 pounds and now it's on 40 pounds, right? And that 40 pounds, for the most part, okay, depending on the equipment you're using, it's 40 pounds all the way through the range of motion. So bands are a great alternative if you don't have free weights, if you're traveling, if you want to do a workout a week with bands, that's fine. Is it going to give you the stress response that we really want ultimately for our aging populations? It's going to give you some. We're in the right direction. You're in the right wheelhouse. But is it optimal? Not quite. Walking. I love walking. If you add load, it's called rucking. Put on a backpack. You could actually put on a couple of jackets or a couple of sweatshirts and just simply overload by a couple of pounds, and your body would benefit from that. Ideally, go find your old school JanSport backpack and throw a couple textbooks in there. Put 5-6 pounds in there and go for a walk. And you are going to get a 5-pound overload with every step that you take. So now, when we're counting reps, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, weight adds up real quick. You go for a 2-3 mile walk, a 1 mile walk, okay? Average individual takes a 2.5 foot long stride step, so you have 5,280 feet to cover. That's 1,400 strides. Is that right? Something like that. So 1,400 times 5 pounds, 6,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds, something like that. I'm great at math, as you can tell. My point is, you just moved, a couple of tons by putting 5 pounds of books in your backpack when you went for your regular walk that you do every day. So that kind of overload can do great things. General locomotion, walking, is one of the most basic skills that we do, but it's also one that is most vulnerable to change. I would say second to posture. Okay, gravity starts to win, posture starts to warp and change. So if you're not strong and you're walking, you continue walking daily, your gait's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller because you don't have the strength. As your muscles start to shrink and your bones start to get weaker and they start to warp, everything's going to get smaller, which makes you more susceptible to falling. Okay, this is proven. So the way to keep a good gait, a good walking ability, is to practice walking and to resistance train. And in this case, you can kind of do both. And I'll tell you too, people that use walking sticks, they are not getting an easier workout. They are not afraid that they're going to fall down. That's why they're using walking sticks. I would encourage you to go for a walk using walking sticks and actually use them. Push and drive with each arm. It's exhausting. You are using your entire body now to propel you through motion, not just your legs. So my argument would be, which I have proven, is that going for a walk with walking sticks is more work, not less. But many people see that as a crutch or as I'm not capable of just walking on my own, so I have to use sticks because I'm afraid I'm gonna fall down. Some people might use it for that, but if you're utilizing those sticks and driving, using your full body, I've done 2 VO2 max tests in a lab, hooked to a harness, to maximal effort till I flew off the back of the treadmill because I couldn't go anymore. One I did with sticks, one I did without sticks. And the one with sticks, my VO2 got higher by a little bit, but higher way earlier in the workout, meaning I had to work really hard. I don't remember the exact numbers. This was 20 years ago in college. So, I don't know, 7 minutes into the workout, I was peaked. Where when I didn't have the sticks, I made it 12 minutes before I peaked. It's hard. It's much harder. So it's not really a easier thing to do. If you see some of the walking sticks, you laugh at him. You're like, that guy can't even go for a walk. No, he's working harder than you. Trust me. If he's actually using them, he's working harder than you. Okay? So check that out. Cycling. Great cardiovascular work, good lower body work, low impact, yes. But again, we want impact, guys. I think that's another one of these common misconceptions. And it's like, it's great you got a doctor to tell you to do this stuff. We want the impact. That's what makes the bone strong, right? That's what makes the bone strong. So high impact sports due to osteoporosis or joint pain. Do you recognize that the way to improve your bone density is to put more stress through your bones? So you're like, hey, you have osteoporosis, go get in the pool, ride the bike. There's no impact in that. Exactly. Don't I need impact to increase my bone density? Yeah, but you have osteoporosis, so go get in the pool? Like, what the fuck? What? Well, here's medicine. Take the medicine. That'll do it. Oh, okay. So really what this is you want to minimize your legal liability, and instead of telling me to go resistance train and or practice jumping and or learn to walk uphill and or learn to run and do sprints at some point, because I'm old, you think I'm more susceptible to injury, and you're going to get sued if you tell me that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. I need to go find a different doctor. That's what I would tell you. Because there are plenty of doctors out there that would say, why don't you go? Let's fast forward to step number 9. Why don't you go hire a personal trainer and learn how to progressively overload and build your body into the way to do that, like all the research suggests. I'll go through my list again. Dr. Peter Attia, Dr. Andy Galpin, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, Dr. Mike Israetel, Dr. Lane Norton, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Dr. Stacy Sims, Dr. Belinda Beck, Masters Robert Linkul. There's 8 doctors. Dr. Huberman, 9. Come on, give me one more. Who else do I got? Give me a 10 doctor. Shit. I gotta find another one. Okay. Dr. Brown. There you go, from Cal Fullerton. Boom. Dr. Brown. All out there preaching the word of resistance training. If you want to get stronger bones and you want to have better posture and you want to increase your quality of life, if you want to increase anything, whatever your fitness goal is, I want to look better. Okay, go lift. Got it. Check. The best thing you could do. If I want to lose body fat, go lift. Proven, people. Proven. You don't cardio away body fat. That is not how you do it. You can, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. You can tell me, oh, I had a friend and he walked for 10 miles a day and he lost all this body fat. What was his diet like? I guarantee he wasn't eating McDonald's 3 times a day. I guarantee it. When you see somebody that has a drastic change in their body weight, look at Silent Bob. God, what's his real name? The guy that's Silent Bob. I forget his real name. Dude was like 330. Now he's 180 pounds. He looks amazing. He looks like a whole different human being. And they were like, what'd you do? Did you start exercising? He's like, nope, gave up sugar. Just stopped drinking soda and eating anything with processed sugar in it. Lost 180 pounds, 150 pounds, some shit like that. I mean, amazing transition and change. Simply by changing his diet. That's how massive body composition changes occur via fat loss. But if you watch somebody go from scrawny to brawny, they lifted that. They ate really well. They increased their protein intake, and they started lifting hard. That doesn't mean you have to do 1 rep maxes. There's all kinds of different ways to increase hypertrophy, right? But you have to lift. So you have a bunch of doctors, okay? Follow me on this real quick. A ton of doctors across this country who are all telling you this right here. You have osteoporosis and joint pain. You're missing. Go get in the pool. Do low impact stuff. All those doctors. How much health education did they have? How much resistance training education did they have? Okay. Next to nothing is what they had. And then you have the 10 experts that I just told you about. How much education do they have? A fuckload. They are literally the people either doing the research and or showcasing the research to the rest of the world. This is how change is made, via research. Science, baby. They get in there, they do it, they report on the studies. The Lift More studies are life-altering studies, showcasing women post-menopause, lifting heavy weights, increasing bone density and muscle mass. There's not a whole lot of research that shows those kinds of improvements. Those ladies lift. They didn't do Tai Chi. They didn't do yoga. Can you do that stuff and feel good? Yes. But are we going to get this result? No. You're not going to. Simply put, it's not going to happen. You have to resistance train. Strength and aerobic fitness classes, awesome. But again, they make some comment in here about weight being optional, something like that. Okay? And then if all that shit fails, like if all that stuff doesn't work right, then hey, go get a personal trainer. That's kind of how this comes down to it. But you could also look at that and go, if I want to build up to personal training and I've never exercised, what should I do? They just give you a very good outline to do that. Now, do you need to go do all of that before you get a trainer? No, but you could. Say, I'm going to go swim a couple times a week. Cool. I'm going to get into yoga and Tai Chi, get my body moving, feel good for a couple of weeks. All right, now let's do some body weight training, get into some bands, start lifting a little bit, go for my walks every day, increase maybe a little bit of weight in a backpack, kind of build up. Oh, cool. This is really feeling good. My body's getting there. All right, let's get into some personal training. Let's go learn how to lift weights. Because you don't want to just run into a weight room and be like, all right, I guess I'll jump on this thing and I'll grab that and I'll just watch other people. They're all training for different stuff. And you need something that's specific to you. All right. I think I've beat this to death and I've gone down many rabbit holes, but I hope that you learned a few things. And as always, Silver Sneakers, you are doing your absolute best to educate the world and to improve the following, the Silver Sneakers following of people. I just wish, just once, you would produce an article that says, you know what? You need to lift some heavier weight. I'll write it for you. I'd be glad to write it for you. I just don't think you'd publish it because you're afraid of being sued. And I don't recognize, I understand that there's a concern for that, but I don't think there's any, if you just simply say use progressive overload, that's all you have to say. Just simply that, use progressive overload. Use progressive overload. 3 words. Piece of cake, man. People are like, all right, so whatever you're doing, what does that mean? Whatever I'm doing, if you do it and it's not super hard, let's call it a 7 out of 10, increase load. Then it'll be more progressive and you'll learn how to adapt. Your body will adapt. And then you can progress it and adapt and progress it and adapt. And it's just this little dance you do. You keep adding a little, add a little, add a little. And after a year, you're like, dude, I got some muscles here. And I'm moving really good. And I can get up and down. The effort's way easier. My posture, I'm actually taller. People in the Lift More studies, they got taller because they weren't so rounded over slouchy. Okay? They increased like half a centimeter, which you'd be like, that's not much. For 80 plus or 70 plus year old women, that's awesome. They got taller. It means they're not rounding over. They're getting better. Some of the ladies actually reduced and saw their neck and their shoulders again because their posture wasn't so rounded over. They postured up. They could look better. So big changes, big changes come from resistance training for 30 minutes twice a week. That was the study. Twice a week for 30 minutes, an hour. They committed an hour every week. So I'm telling you, like, it doesn't have to be this, I got to spend 6 hours in the gym every day. Every other day would be perfect. Go lift for 30 minutes every other day. You get 3 to 4 workouts in a week. If you actually did that every other day, you get 3 workouts this week, 4 next week, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. You just every other day. Perfect. All you got to do. All right. 30 minutes later, I hope you learned some good stuff. And not a bad article, okay? Not bad at all. I would love to see that last line. Add progressive overload. Have a great day, everybody. I appreciate you all. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe, like, follow, share, all that good stuff. Help us grow. And until next time, continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia. Take care.